Oh shoot, Streamer University would fail.
People that I thought would be approachable but aren't. So.
Exactly.
And it's not even
The
that.
smaller creators and streamers like Kai's Streamer University says a lot of the bigger and known creator streamers are not approachable.
I'm not going out my way because I am, and that's not even like me. I don't even be doing that. Like
What?
approachable but aren't. So.
Exactly.
And it's not even that I'm not going out my way because I am, and that's not even like me. I don't even be doing that. Like
Who's not approachable?
you have names in mind?
Oh, 100%. Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Now, I think that it's a shame.
I can agree to that, but I think that some people may come there and they just may not be approachable. That just might be what, the good is going to come with the bad. I mean, unfortunately. Or the bad is going to come with the good. I mean, you just got to bite the bullet in some sense. I mean, this is an opportunity where, again, you benefit, but the bigger streamer may not necessarily, other than just getting a couple brownie points and PR points by trying to collaborate with you. So, I mean, I get it. They at the end of the day, put you in a position to win, but they're not getting anything out of it.
That a lot of the small
And especially like somebody who had to spend years to get to the position that they are.
creators had this type of reaction or interaction with the big streamers or the other people on campus. And I don't necessarily think that it's the big creators' fault. I think that it's their expectations over anything. I think that people came into this with a notion that they were going to have just free range and free access to some of the biggest creators in the community. And I mean the biggest creators, and I mean free range and free access. But truly and genuinely, that's not how that works. Now look, I'm not saying that these bigger streamers don't have to be, I don't know, just good people in general, which I wasn't there. I don't have the full-on experience, but that's not what they're saying in these videos. I personally believe that a lot of streamers came with some sort of notion or idea as to what was supposed to happen, and it did not happen. We've seen that happen at many sorts of events when it comes to content creators, whether it be DreamCon, whether it be, I don't know, MomoCon, whether it be any of the conventions, or even the situation of Streamer University. People go there with different sorts of ideas in their mind, preconceived notions, or whatever the case may be, and then are ultimately disappointed when their big streamer doesn't collaborate with them.
Can I expose everybody? What? For ego and small streamers? Oh, yeah. Somebody's getting mad at me like, what are you talking about, bro? No, it's true. Be a real ego in niggas. I don't give a fuck.
Nah, niggas is. I peep.
Niggas ego in niggas?
Yeah, bro. Just leaving them out of shit, all types of shit.
Sure.
Bro, this shit not for big creators, bro. This shit for the small creators, bro. And the big creators still fan to each other, like, nigga, when this shit over with, I can still collaborate with each other when this shit over with, bro. Fuck with the small niggas, bro. Help them get this shit.
I saw a lot of smaller streamers not go with any sort of plan or idea when it came to creating their content. I tapped into these people's broadcast or their VODs or whatever that were on Twitch, and I saw a lot of people holding their phone, recording other people while they make content. That to me is not what I would consider an attempt at content creation.
Right.
And maybe your big brained idea is dancing or trying to jump into a kerfuffle mindlessly and hoping for your own viral moment, but I don't know why bigger streamers would be obligated to do those sorts of things. I think
Great take. Again, like I said, what is the benefit of, it's not like for example, Kai Cenat came up with this ridiculous idea, Streamer University, and he's a big creator. DDG came out there and started popularized the My Ball thing, right? So a lot of these big creators kind of know what they're doing when it comes to how to captivate an audience, retain an audience, and to keep that going, especially if you're talking about streaming world, where you're talking about people have to tune into you for hours to see what's going on. They get it. There were some of those dudes that weren't big creators that were able to find their niche and were able to come up there with ideas on what to do and what not to do with some of the bigger creators. If you just thought you were just going to show up and, man, if I can get a good enough shot of DDG or if I get a good enough shot of Kai Cenat and I can post that, be my title or whatever the case, I can maybe have some videos on TikTok or on Twitch or on YouTube that are going to have him in my title, then maybe I'll get an opportunity to blow up. If that's what you thought that was going to be, you were not thinking straight. This should have been an opportunity for you to learn from the people that are bigger than you. And if you came out there with a plan or an idea, you could have utilized the time that you had out there to create plenty of viral moments.
I think one of the biggest missteps that I saw from this weekend from a lot of the small streamers is that they just did not have things planned. I didn't see a lot of people take on different personas, have characters, you know, have a content plan and go out there and put it into place.
Again, y'all are streaming. I saw at some point DDG had like 200,000 people in his stream at one time. If y'all thought y'all were just gonna be a small content creator and just show up and then poof, magic was gonna happen, you were sadly mistaken. Again, I do applaud Kai Cenat because the majority of the content creators were smaller that he brought out there. But again, what kind of continued to keep the lore of the Streamer University going over the weekend was a lot of these bigger streamers and the content that they were able to create. The Rakais, the Funny Mikes, the DDGs, the J Singles, etc. What they had going on, even people like India Love or whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, she didn't really have a chick. But she came out there with, what was it, like 400 or 4,000 followers? And was able to turn that to 400,000? So she was a small creator too. Obviously on Instagram, she's huge. I'm sure she's got a big following on TikTok too. But she was able to generate a huge following on Twitch by ingratiating herself in the community. And there's plenty of women I think that had an opportunity. Like I seen DDG walk up to plenty of women and, oh, you my ball, whatever the case may be. Or Jay Cinco, whatever the case was. But they alluded, or what they ended up doing was just saying, I'm out. I'm not involving myself in that. I seen a shorty just now on TikTok talking about some. Hey, look, if we can do some content together, I'd be down. But you have to do you can't bring me into this my ball discussion. Look, baby, unfortunately, this is not the real DDG. This is the character he's playing. A lot of these guys that were carrying the weekend were playing characters. If you think that these dudes are just obliged to collaborate with you, and then, I mean, you've seen some of the earnings. Agent showed up there. He was making $1 million a month. What benefit am I going to get from you being able to do content with me other than this scenario where you have an opportunity to do that? Because after this is done, if I don't know you, you go right back to the unseen folder on Instagram.
I just saw people live streaming, IRL streaming, recording them walking around or recording the specific class that they're.
Look at that. Like, the people that are running this class right now is DDG. And then you have some other people that are probably popular in the class being able to interact with their chat. And you have a lot of small creators, it's hard, but based on where I paused it, that are just like hoping that something happens and it's going to be on their stream from their perspective, on their angle. You have 30 people filming the exact same thing. Your point of view has to have some validity.
They're in. And I don't think that that's the best way to go about doing content. So you can't get mad when, I don't know, Duke Dennis doesn't want to jump into your TikTok trend.
Right.
He's done 6 of them today. And that's not a real content plan. Now, I will say there are some small creators who did have legitimate gripes as to what the big streamers were doing.
I wanted to bring this to you because obviously this is very important, and the teachers are saying real shit, and I'm trying to learn. But if it's like the bigger creators, they're just trying to have a viral moment to where the teacher gets distracted, and I feel like trying to learn.
And that is real. Because I saw a video of Agent's, streams where he was giving out true game, and he had to tell the audience or his onlookers or his class or whatever
be quiet
several times. He was giving out real things that people, even the bigger streamers, needed to go and take back to their own camps and do their own things. But instead of doing what needed to be done, they were trying to get a clip off or they were trying to go viral. And there were small streamers doing the same thing too. So I do think that is a legitimate gripe. But if people are complaining about, they couldn't get their moment to create their TikTok with, I don't know, DDG or something like that, go back to the drawing board, big fella. Now, also because there are a bunch of younger individuals at a college campus, naturally there's going to be some sort of bullying going on. I don't think it's right, but it happened this past weekend, and I will honestly say kudos to the community for the way that it was treated, because she was on the verge of dropping out of streaming university.
Someone was being
it was
people
crazy.
came into my chat and then, told me about it. And it's just, they're like, hi, no. Not him, no. I contacted our admissions panel. I said, I don't want anyone to get in trouble for this. I just think it's important for us to remind people, that we're all in the same position and that we need to treat people with kindness. That's what I told them.
And I think that's big because ultimately what happened to her takes away from the greater event that was going on in streaming university. Somebody being rude, somebody being bullied, while they're all there to attempt to become bigger, better, greater creators, honestly does nothing for the conversation. But like I said, a bunch of the community did very well in wrapping their arms around this young woman and ultimately not just getting to the bottom of the situation, but helping her become a better person, content creator, streamer, and just showing her love and embrace.
A lot of people from her stream coming on my Instagram, TikTok, all that, saying I called her names and stuff like that. Now they're coming at me. I didn't know she was here or anything like that. So then went on Twitch, searched your name, and saw you were here. So I'm like, okay, let me go find her, try to clear things up. Because I swear, I'm not even like that. I'm not messy or anything. So, I just want to apologize. Thank you for apologizing too, but yeah.
Just being in front of a camera, tough skin, you gotta learn to embrace the jokes about yourself or just any negativity, because it's always gonna be negativity, it's always gonna be positivity, it's always gonna be it's never gonna be a 50-50 balance. It's always gonna be negative niggas, it's gonna be positive niggas. You gotta have that thick skin for real.
Listen, they think I'm musty, okay? So I'm telling you right now. It's okay. It's okay. I know. You got this shit.
Oh.
Hi, evil twin.
What the hell? My evil twin is here? Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
What you doing? What's been going on?
So basically, just yesterday, just chilling out, streaming, desktop streaming.
God dang, I watch.
Everything. People come to my chat, say, this person is saying this and that about you. Specifically, they said, oh, her hair is nappy.
Who?
I don't want to say
Hair?
Who? I don't want to say their name. Thank you so much for another gifted child. Thank you so much. I hope I say your name right. Oh my god. Rage. I just don't even know how to process
Vibes. Good vibes for her.
You guys are so sweet.
Not only was that one of the best things to come at it, but
Facts.
something that I alluded to earlier in the video is that Agent 00, another content creator that became a professor at Streamer University, was literally one of the best classes, hell, the best class at Streamer University, because he was very open, honest, and transparent about what his life is like now as a streamer and how people can get to that level.
That also was included in the tax number, so it is just overall a pretty rough month. But even though that's the case, we absolutely crushed it. That's peak for me, by the way. That's peak. In the first 10 seconds of this, that means that the video is likely to perform bad, because if people leave early, let's watch time. Watch time is king. This video is always, there's always gonna be some drops, but you see how it holds?
This is the unique thing about Streamer University. There's not too many places and spaces in which content creators really pour their heart out. I mean, literal screenshots from their own videos that will give you an insight as to what to do, what to look at, etc., etc. I think a lot of content creators figure out that their journey is them by themselves doing trial and error and trial and error and trial and error until they ultimately quit. Hell, that's life. They either quit, they succeed, but it's a bunch of trial and error by themselves. But what was happening at Streamer University, specifically through Agents class, is that he was giving people the opportunity to learn from somebody who has a decade plus in the game with real life examples and real life screenshots. And then to top it all off, he then extended them brand opportunities for people who have never had brand deals, which would ultimately kickstart their careers in content creation by giving them some capital to back up everything.
They're willing to offer $5,000 to 3 different streamers to do their first ever brand deal, okay? So I mulled it over with the chat, and the decision was Esty, Coach, and Kai. Can you please come to the front of the class?
This overall was a major, major success. Do not get me wrong. As many negatives as we talked about, this was something that people should look at in order to replicate and do as much as possible. I mean, the opportunity to get real life experience from actual certified content creators that we all know and love, become the second most watched category on Twitch for the past couple of days. I'm talking about 21 million watch time hours. You know, brands offering Kai Cenat money like Tubi and Netflix and Amazon. Everybody having career ascensions. We saw that happening in the award ceremony where people's Twitch stats literally rose overnight because of Streamer University.
Benny Bands.
He was a small creator that did numbers. What was the other guy's name? Like CJ or something like that? Corey.
I'm gonna try to do this without crying. First of all glory to God. This has been the best experience of my life. Everyone was so nice to me. Shout out to everybody here. You all deserve to be here. And I'm glad, I hope every single one of you got out of it what you're supposed to get out of it, and as much as you deserve to get out of it.
Danny went from 70 average viewers to 2,600 average viewers during this whole time and gained like 115,000 followers. That's amazing success. But it seems like there's always going to be bad apples in the bunch that are going to jeopardize this sort of production happening in the future. Last night at the end of Streamer University, some people got totally out of pocket. There was a few creators that thought clip farming was the meta to go, and I've been telling people about clip farming being bad on this channel for a very long time. So they decided to break into Agent 00's room, the best teacher on campus, and not only destroy stuff, but also steal from him.
Open the fucking door, nigga. You think I'm fucking playing, nigga? Where do you think it's at? Where does Jay nigga at? Whoa, what the fuck? Yo! Y'all niggas think it's appropriate to come in my fucking room while I'm not there? It's a difference between content, nigga. Learn the fucking difference, bitch ass nigga. Get this nigga the fuck out of here.
Giving very Zoe Spencer vibes. Now, ultimately, they did resolve this, and Agent gave him one of the better life lessons yet again when it came to Streamer University.
There's lines, bro.
No, you're right.
You crossed the line. You're right. I feel violated.
No, you're right. And I'm sorry for that. You know what I'm saying? I was wrong.
I appreciate the apology. Look, bro.
And hopefully people go on with their lives and realize that there's levels to content creation.
And that's what it is. People looking for their moment. And that's something I feared was going to happen at Streamer U. There's going to be so many people that are thirsty for a moment. They're going to do something stupid
that don't involve being some sort of nuisance. And I would also be remiss to mention that, you know, there was another incident that happened on the final night of Streamer University where a gang of students led by Rakai also started a drama, fight, war, whatever in the hallways that led to the injury of a young woman. Ultimately, police got involved and it caused Kai Cenat to make some sort of announcement.
She got shot in her eye? You okay? What is it, water?
No, somebody shot me. I'm fine.
Okay, let's get you downstairs. Let's get you downstairs.
I shielded it from Kai too. I protected him.
Which Kai?
Kai Cenat.
He was here?
Yeah, he was on the court. He was next to me when I got shot.
So wow, oh my. What do you do? Nigga, one of the students got hit in the eye with a Ori, and she's claiming the last thing she saw was me. And she's telling police I'm the one.
Everybody, if you are on campus, I had a spark laugh on my phone. Relax. Everybody clean. Everybody. Because somebody got hurt. So now I'm on my way to the hospital, and all I'm asking for y'all is to clean. Because everybody just, y'all not being considerate.
And there's a whole video after this
Yeah.
weekend to make about Rakai himself and nuisance streaming and taking it too far and all this other stuff. Some of the stuff that people have been signaling for a very long time, but we'll save that for another day. But this is the stuff right here that causes Kai Cenat to not be able to do this stuff anymore. Something that he alluded to in part of his streams is that he's not going to be doing Stream University ever again because of stuff like this. Now, he might have taken it that way in the moment, but I don't think that that young woman was saying the last thing that she saw was Kai Cenat being the fact that he caused this in some way, shape, form, or fashion. What he's literally saying is, I saw Kai Cenat. Like, Kai Cenat was literally next to her, and when the Orby hit her in the eye, the last thing she could see out of her other good eye was Kai Cenat. But the way that the narrative is going to get spun, etc., that's what happened. But this is why this isn't open to any and everybody. Content creators and non-content creators don't mix for this specific reason, because content creators know what the boundaries and the limits are, while non-content creators, get lost in the sauce and take things too far with people that they ultimately don't know. I think the way that it was handled by Agent, along with the other situation where the young woman was bullied, any of these situations that happened was ultimately good, but this is the problem with this IRL streaming stuff. This is not content. At the end of the day, I don't want that to mar what happened from the whole Streamer University experience. Of course, there were going to be some people who didn't get out of it what they wanted to because they thought that this was going to be their come up or their get out of the hood free card, or they were just going to have a bad experience. There were also going to be people that took advantage of it and disrupted the natural order of the place and space and be bad faith actors. That's always going to happen. But there were so many people that came out of this experience better than when they came in. They have a true kickstart and they have guidance, which a lot of content creators don't have usually when they do content creation as a journey, and they will be able to be better content creators. Are all of them going to stick? Of course not. But are some of them going to make it and be better the next year and the next year and the next year? Absolutely. I hope in the future people are able to put on things like this for YouTube, for TikTok, for Twitch, for Kick, whatever the case may be, so we can all become better content creators. Because if the ecosystem is thriving, then it benefits everyone. Not only from the perspective of getting the entertainment, but also from the perspective of the creators getting paid.